I guess it's time for part two. And this is coming off of Ermac, which I'm feeling really good at. Alright. So, it's currently 4:13 in the morning. Probably gonna be yawning during this. And my bad for the last one. Mind you, I do the editing before I go to sleep. I didn't know I put the beginning at the end of the fucking video. So, it was so fucking confusing. And I went back, 5 minutes before I started doing this and watched the end of the video, it knows me talking about the beginning. So I'm so sorry for that. I'm gonna try and start editing earlier before I go to sleep. But yeah, time to begin. Now I know I left off at the school, so yeah, I guess it's time for enter the school. And I do have a shit for this now, though it's kind of it's kind of stupid, but at the same time, I talked about it, I thought about it and talked about it with people, would make sense in a way. It would just take us some time to do. So yeah, or it might be ships, depending on how I feel about it. But it's time for Jason to be introduced to. Oh yeah, by the way, we actually made a joke about this in Discord. Yes, everyone does know that Jason Voorhees is Deku's father, because his name is Jason Voorhees Jr. So everyone knows his father is Jason Voorhees. He hasn't been spotted in a long ass time, and he's deep in the forest, and anyone who enters that forest basically dies. So they just have him marked off, like the section of the forest where it's been proven that he will kill you if you walk into it. The only exception was Melina, and it's because she wasn't a fucking teen, and he was cured, and him and his mother didn't know what to fucking do. But yeah, time to get into this. So, oh yeah, in this world you can kill villains. In every world, just stating this now, in every world I do, as a hero you can kill a villain, but it has to be under certain circumstances. If you know that capturing him is not on the table at all, no matter how dire the situation is and how much you think you can or must try to, if you can't capture him, he must be put down. I'm always going to use All For One as an example. No one could have beaten that man. All Might barely beat him. If it wasn't for the fact that it was Hero Society, people would have put that man down. There was no capturing that man. But anyway, I digress. Back to the story. So, first day of school, I'm going to say, because Jason has Lake Mist, he pretty much, I said, he can't Lake Mist and teleport anywhere he hasn't. No, he needs a map to teleport. He doesn't have a map of Japan yet, which is retarded. I mean, that part of Japan where UA is. Because, he wasn't thinking about running out and buying it. Because that house is pretty much a farm, too. So he's just, he's constantly there. And before we continue about the, cable man and stuff, it got to the point where, the people would never show up because Jason was just killing them in the woods. So Melina went out, learned how to put it all together, and just brought everything home and just hooked it up. And she was pissed at Jason, too, about killing everyone. His whole excuse was, what? They were in my woods. It's marked off and everything. Don't come in my fucking woods. And he wouldn't get chopped in half and put into many things, trees and shit. She said, wait, you put them in the fucking trees? And I was like, yeah, they're hanging from the trees at the entrance. And she was like, oh, you fucking idiot. And then she went to cut them down and bury them somewhere. And mind you, when they left, Jason's mother popped out, and Deku and Jason was talking to her, and she said, Jason, you really need to start hiding the bodies better. And he said, he says, well, it's kind of different because I know I'll slaughter every one of them. And she said, that is true, but what about your son? He's turning into a pussy. And he says, I know. He doesn't take the knife and just be done with it. And after reading up on hero shit, Jason cared a little bit, and he was like, all right, what my son basically getting into. And he basically told him you can kill villains. Like, you can straight out kill them. You just need the right reasons. And I'm pretty sure you carrying a machete is the right reason. And it's not the machete Jason has. It's more of like, it's a smaller one, like a hunting knife. He gets the machete later though. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he always carries a hunting knife because like one of them long Bowie knives in like fucking COD 1 or 2. He has one of those. So yeah, he like Jason physically forces Deku to take the knife. Like, legit, they go to blows, and it's like the freaking Kratos versus Boulder fight. Besides the fact that they aren't in the house, and that's basically the training, is them just beating the shit out of each other. And Jason's mom does teach him a little bit of martial arts, but Jason isn't more of a martial arts. He's more of a command grab and beat the fuck out of you kind of guy. Plus, he gives regeneration. So, like, basically, he gets stabbed. It's like he will pull it out and be like, "Oh, nice knife," and then just it'll heal. This dude's like every Jason movie. This nigga can go to hell and come back. Legit, like, that's his whole entrance pretty much. If anyone kills him, it's like he will like die and just spawn home. He would just climb out of hell, like, and just spawn home. And Jason would be like, and actually, it's happened once. Jason killed him once by accident because they were fighting, and I'm pretty sure Jason grabbed him and broke his neck because he choked him too hard. Because this is when he was starting training, and Jason like doesn't know how to hold back strength because of the fact that he used to get rid of people. That's all I gotta say, because you know what I meant by it. Though this is gonna be 18 plus, so it don't even fucking matter. And he killed Deku pretty much. Then I'm gonna say like a couple minutes later, Deku came crawling out of hell, and Jason was like, "Oh, you can do it." Like, Jason was like, "Holy shit! I thought you were gone for good. I thought I was gonna have to kill your mother next." And Deku like spawned out of hell. Was like, "Yeah, I'm back." And he was like, "Wait, what? You were gonna kill who now?" And then Jason said, "Nothing. But oh, you can crawl out of hell, same as me." And he was like, "Yeah, I am your son." And he said, "Okay, well, that's good to know. So I don't have to hold back anymore." And I'm gonna say he kills him like a whole bunch. He's killed Deku countless times on countless occasions. It's just Deku's just like him, will continuously come back to the end of time pretty much. So that's the funny shit. So Deku feels no pain whatsoever because with his father, he's been stabbed, burnt, fucking broken in half and shit. Like, he's felt it all pretty much with his father, and he's dealt that back too. So basically, they're both on their like A game pretty much when this comes to fighting each other. Imagine it, it's like Broly versus fucking GT Goku when they were younger. I mean, when Deku was younger. Now I'm talking about kid GT Goku, not like any of the Super Saiyans. And that was the first thing on. Alright, so let's get back to the story because, I got off topic and I actually like that. And I want to do this all in one recording so I can be lazy as hell with the editing. And yes, I am lazy as shit. If I could procrastinate my ass off when it comes to recording, I won't do that because I like recording now. At first it was bullshit, now it's like, I actually like it because of the headphones, besides the fact these shits are heavy as hell. But, yeah, it's school time, so Deku has to get up like an hour or two early just so he can Lake Mist in town. And mind you, yes, he does have a mask, but it's not like the hockey mask. It's more of like one of the masks like Melina. How do I explain this? He wears a mask like, like, fuck, how do I say it? Like one of the ski masks. Not like, fuck, how do I explain this? It's not a ski mask. It's more like fucking, what Katana and them had to cover their, like, the half of their face. He has one of those. And yes, this nigga has black hair and red eyes. Like there's nothing there. And no, he does not have a bald head. He has Melina's hair, so it's just like he ties it up in like how do I explain it? Whose hair should no? It don't even fucking matter. I don't even know why I'm explaining that. This nigga isn't bald though. That's all you need to know. His hair isn't spiky or anything like that. It's think of a Native American's hair, just smaller and in like a bun and shit, and short. So that's pretty much his hair. So he goes into town and buys like maps of Japan, so he can be like, okay, so I can basically teleport here, 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 and just like mark them off on the map. Then he goes, then he Lake Mist home to, get his school shit ready. Because he's like, his dad is 6'7", so he's like 6'2" right now. I don't know how much he weighs, but that nigga kicked Bakugo through a wall. I mean, threw Bakugo through a wall, then kicked him through the next wall in middle school. So, yeah, that's fucking terrible. That's fucking terrifying, too. So, I'm gonna say that, and then I don't even know how he just, like, pops out of nowhere. I think he just, like, does it, and then it's like a teleportation thing. He doesn't even Lake Mist. No, I'm gonna just say when he chooses a location, he has to Lake Mist to it. Like, the only, like, yeah, that's how he does. He just has to Lake Mist to it. Like, he just walks, and mist comes out, and then where he walks to, mist comes out there, and he's just there. So, I'm gonna say it's 10 minutes before class starts, because, fucking Deku fell right back to sleep after coming home, because even though he came home, like, he forgot stuff, and was like, oh, my bed looks, like, and, like, laid on his bed for a second, like, I got some time, and fell asleep. So now it's 10 minutes before he has to be in school, and Melina comes in and gives him the people's elbow to wake him up, because Jason isn't waking up by no normal means. He's like his father. Like, he isn't waking up by no normal means. She jumps, flips in the air, and people's elbow him, almost putting him to the bed, and says it's time, and says, you gotta wake up, it's time for school. And he doesn't even say ow, he's like, he cracks his neck and says, what the fuck? And then, like, he gets up and Lakes Mist in the school, because he already had his uniform on, he just fell asleep. And he pretty much in class, everyone's seen him just Lake Mist into the back of the room. Because, yeah, they did have orientation, and he does know what class he's in. And everyone freaked the fuck out. Like, because everyone's in the class, everyone freaked the fuck out because of the fact that they just seen someone come through the wall and, like, almost, it has a little mask on. So they thought he was a villain until they looked at the uniform. And they're like, he's a student here. As I woke up, too, he was like, what the fuck is with all the yelling? And it was like, sir, this guy just, like, teleported into the room. And he basically says, I'm a student here. The fuck? And, yeah, that's basically how the whole entrance goes. Fucking Kirishima was just, like, chilling and then seeing this big burly fucking guy just teleport into the room. He was like, what the shit? And started hardening up. And then he was like, and then after that, he was like, bro, what the fuck can you bench? He says, I mean, I never got to try, but I feel like a good 10,000 maybe. I don't fucking know. I mean, I did throw this kid through a wall and kicked him through the neck because he pissed me off the one day. And he was like, oh, what's his name? He was like, no, something Bakuso. All I know is that he had yellow spiky hair and seemed really pissy. And then he was like, so Kirishima says, so the guy basically behind you. He was like, Deku turned around, he was like, oh yeah, this guy. And he was like, I remember that because, like, I didn't get suspended, but, like, they were mad at me because I threw him through the wall and kicked him through the necks. And then I almost kicked him throughout the building because of everyone for the whole school grabbing me. I mean, when I mean the whole school, I mean students, teachers, security, everyone had to grab me and basically hold me back. And Bakugo remembered that and pretty much like had a mental breakdown and had PTSD in the classroom and was escorted out. And yeah, that shit is horrible. Like Bakugo is just done. Like he anywhere near Deku, he has PTSD and just collapses pretty much because he almost died. When I mean he almost died, I mean he was seeing the light. Like he legit saw his ancestors, and they're like, "Damn, like you really pissed him off." And the dude from the Boondocks was like, "Damn, what did he do to make that nigga so damn mad?" So yeah, I'm gonna say after that, class begins, and the same shit is all. Besides the fact Bakugo's not there, matter of fact, as much as I want to exclude him from this, yeah, he can't do shit. Like he has too much PTSD to do anything. He's within fucking 10. He's within like 5 feet of Deku. He has PTSD automatically. This man literally almost has a heart attack around Deku. So he's pretty much out of the story. So Bakugo's done. Dude, that's horrible. I gave Bakugo like category like 12,000 PTSD because of Deku kicking him, throwing him, and him like barely being able to move. Turned his head and just seen black hair, red eyes, and everyone in the school holding him back. But because from his point of view, it looked like they were dying at his feet because people would collapse near him, and he legit for a while thought he was Jason Voorhees, because this is his son, so he has that aura of I'ma fucking kill you, and there's ain't shit you can do about it. That you can kill me, I'ma go to hell, come back and fuck you up. So yeah, like this shit is funny as shit. Like Bakugo's just done. Like he can't even use his explosion quirk the way he used to. This nigga has better luck just like becoming a professional, like going with Best Genius for the rest of his life and just becoming like a butler or something. Cause that's like pretty much he got transferred into like general studies. He could not stand being around Deku. Like legit, there's nothing he could do. I'm not even gonna reiterate it. He's in general studies now. Just Bakugo is out of the story. And that brings in a new fucking character because fucking Katana didn't trust Belita. So basically, Deku's cousin comes in as like a replacement. It's like the daughter of Liu Kang and Katana. So this kid's pretty fucking gnarly, and they realize, and basically he recognizes Jason Voorhees. He was like, "Hey, cousin," and Deku was like, "Who the fuck are you?" And then he was like, "Oh, I'm Katana's and Liu Kang's, like, I'm." Wait, no, it was a she. My bad. I thought it was a he. I was gonna show you the guys in the story, but she basically like comes in and says, "Oh, hey, older cousin," and basically he's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And then she says, "Oh, I'm Liu Kang and Katana's daughter," and he says, "I'm sorry. Let me reiterate. Who the fuck are you and who the fuck are them?" And she says, "Well," she explains it. Melina is basically my mom's sister. And then like he was like, "Okay, say no more. You're my little cousin," and rubs her head. And when he says like, "Okay, like since you're my little cousin, what powers do you have?" And she just basically does what Liu Kang and Katana can do, the wind and fire, basically. And he says, "Oh, that's pretty fucking cool." And then he was like, "But I got something better to show you." This nigga pulls out his phone and shows the video of him slamming Bakugo through throwing Bakugo through a concrete wall and kicking him through the necks. And then fucking, I don't even know what to call her. I don't even know what to call her. Just, what should I name her real quick? Katana and Liu Kang. I'm gonna just call her Kai. Fuck, I can't call her Kai. I can't name her Jade. Fuck it. I'm gonna just name her Sindel. No, I can't name her Sindel either. This shit is really ticking me off now. What should I give her a name real quick? What's the name I can think of on the fly? Cause I'm not about to give her an American name. Do. Fuck it. Chung. I said Chung. Fuck. That's Chinese as hell. What's a character I can take real quick? I'm gonna just say fuck it, Chung-Li, why not? So, she basically says like, dude, she basically says, what, did you lock into Mortal Kombat with him? And then, basically, again, Jason says, what the fuck is Mortal Kombat? And he said like, oh, even though it ended like a couple years ago, after me and you were born, basically it's a tournament between people where people from Earth and where she's from literally died in combat. She basically like showed him like the past people, and Deku looks at this and says, "Oh, that would have been fucking cool. I would have loved that." And she said, "Your father was there too. He just doesn't remember." And basically, he was like, "Wait, hold on a second." Dials up his dad and says, "Hey, Dad, what the fuck was Mortal Kombat?" He says, "Ask your mother," and hangs up the phone. So yeah, him and I'm gonna just call her Lee. Why not? Or Lai. There's so many Lees in the world. So, Lai. I'm gonna just call it. No, Lao. Because, yeah, just Lao. Why not? Because it's an old homage to Kung Lao. But, I said her and Lao. Fucking Jason and. Jason, yeah, I can just call him Jason because he is kind of Jason. Jason and Lao, just like, they're best friend, pretty much best friends. They're like reminiscing and things, and Aizawa basically like, okay, I know it's a good family reunion, but we got shit to do. And it says go outside, like, and put on your suits and shit. Like, it's time to like train. Not even training. It's the fucking examination portion. So I'm gonna say on the way there, Kirishima's talking. Kirishima and Kai are talking. I say, Kirishima and Tai are talking. I said Kai. Why do I keep saying Kai? He thinking of Kai. Cause I'm thinking of fuck. Him and Lao are talking, and Kirishima walks up and basically like he can see through I said Broly. I keep thinking of my what ifs. Like him, like Kirishima sees. I was about to say Broly again. Fucking Jason's stature, and he looks and says, "Bro, like, where do you work out at? I need to go there." And he says, "Dude, all I do is farm work and like train with my dad and mom. Nothing else. Get off of my back with this shit." And then he says, "Well, that doesn't explain how the hell you're built like that." And he was like, "I was born like this." And Kirishima finally clicks it together. Like, after a while, he was like, oh, and then he was like Kevin Hart when freaking Dennis Rodman explained like the whole situation of him and Kung Fu. He was like, oh shit, and then he was like, "You're the son of Jason Voorhees," and mind you, in the middle of the hallway, walking through many classes, he says that shit out loud, so everyone in the school knows that he's the son of Jason, the person who's killed countless fucking people. And still can't be captured, and that's his son. The whole school freaks the fuck out. Nezu knew that was Jason Voorhees' son anyway, and like everyone in class is scared except for Lao, and she's like, "Oh, okay," and they continue talking. And mind you, they ask, "Well, how the fuck you aren't afraid?" And she was like, "Bitch," and she basically says to the whole class, "Bitch, please, both of our families have bodies." And they just continue walking. So, in like the span of an hour, this nigga caused Bakugo to change rooms. The whole class to physically be shook by his presence. And make the whole class fear Lao because they basically are in the same family tree. Now they know their families have bodies with them. Like they legit can body entire families. No person in like 1A can deal with them except for All Might probably. Dude, this shit is fucking crazy. But now we're in like the dressing rooms. Lao doesn't have. Lao was 14 actually. She doesn't have tattoos, any of that. She just has like a lot of like flower related things. Like her whole thing is like fire. Like she can make the fire flower thing and all that. She basically developed her own style with fire. And I'm not gonna explain what happens in the girls' locker room, but we'll go into the boys' locker room. So in the boys' locker room, everyone is like standing away from fucking Jason, and he basically says, it's okay for guys to be afraid. It's another thing to actually show it and be halfway across the room. And he announces that and says like, I'm not gonna kill any of you yet. And then like they all like got so scared that the fact that half of them fainted, and he was like, it was a fucking joke. And he said, and can someone get the little pervert? He's trying to peek math. He said, can someone get the little pervert? So he's trying to, and he's like, you know what? Fuck it. Grabs Mineta, because there was a peeking hole in the locker room, and almost chokes him to death. Because he says, my cousin is in there. And starts squeezing, like, more and more until Mineta starts seeing the light, and then they're like, okay. And then he was like, oh, wait, I can't kill other heroes and students. And then he drops Mineta. Like, it's there. And Mineta's like, Mineta has foam coming out of his mouth. And like Kirishima is still looking at it like, yo, this guy is stupid strong, and his aura is crazy. This nigga would have made a good yakuza or something. And that's that. I thought I almost had a cut in my lip for a second. That would have been a pain in the ass to continue talking with. And let's go now to the training ground. Like the whole class, like the girls group got to know more about Lao, and know that she isn't bad. It's just like her family is like, she didn't explain Mortal Kombat. Basically, she just explained like how it is. She said like, seriously leveled it down to our family. My family used to be Yakuza and still kind of is. I mean, used to be Yakuza, but they weren't. And they thought the same thing for fucking Jason when it isn't. Like legit. Like all the boys know that Jason's father and everyone in the school looked at Jason Voorhees after he says, "You're the son of Jason Voorhees," and realized that this nigga has over 1,000 bodies to his name, is still at large, and his son has been born. If it wasn't for the fact that word spread so fast that Nezu couldn't stop it. So everyone in Japan, in the world, knows Jason has a son, and it's trending every fucking where. Like, Melina has a Twitter, right? It's completely utterly under control. She sees the son of Jason Voorhees trending, and it's just and it just shows like a kid named Jason Voorhees, and it shows Deku, and she's like, fuck. And that's all I gotta say. That's pretty much it. Everyone in the world knows Jason has a son, and that's his son. Including the League of Villains, every bad person alive. So this nigga not only has heroes like gonna try and lock him down harder than Shaq in the fucking finals. This nigga has villains trying to like talk him up and basically say like, hey, come over here. Like, come rock with us a little bit. Like, damn, this dude, I'm glad this dude doesn't have a Twitter. He does have a Facebook though, and his shit blowing up with massive friends requests from niggas he don't even know. Like, it got to the point where he had to silence his phone and his shit was still ringing. Like, it would never stop. So, yeah, now it's time for the training ground. And yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing happens. No, like here's how it's gonna go because now I got Lau and I got Jason. So I'm gonna explain it everything and like the strength, the speed, and everything. Okay, so Jason ties with Uraraka when it comes to like the strength because I mean no, Jason gets second, but he like throws the ball almost to where the hell is Japan if I remember correctly, almost to the top of Russia. I'm gonna say that because I'm gonna say he is stronger than like Canon Jason because of the fact that he is a son and your offspring will always be stronger or smarter than you, so it will constantly evolve. So he gets second, and Kai gets third because like she used like because of the way she used like you can use her quirks in it. She basically did the whole dragon thing and sent the ball flying, and it like reached the water. It reached the ocean. But when it came to everything else, like if there was a grip test, Deku broke every machine possible. In the speed test, he got first because he just lake missed the end of the thing and just walked away. Agility wise, Mineta still gets first. Deku is like almost dead last because of the fact that Jason wasn't the most agile. But pretty much like that's everything notable. So when it comes to the results, like everyone's like not shocked that Jason got last in almost the agility thing because I remember that he wasn't that agile. When it came to speed though, everyone was shook because they realized the fact that he can teleport. Like he can like actually teleport. People thought it was a joke that Jason may have been able to teleport. His son just confirmed that. And like the more and more things they figure out about his son, the more and more they're pissing themselves at the fact that there's like they're kind of glad that he's kind of trying to become a hero. At the same time, they remember that he can still kill. Like he legit, no one will be able to stop him. So that happens, and I'm gonna say like because they have a port like Kai has a portal to outer world. I said Kai. Lao has a like portal to outer world, so she can go back and forth. And I'm gonna say she invited Jason to come with her after school, and Jason said, "Nah, I'd rather go home because I don't like because Melina because he said my mom is managed from Outworld, so I'm not sure if it's the same thing happens to her offspring. So I'm gonna just catch you around." And basically, like Lao says okay, and basically says like, "Oh, by the way, can you hold this for me?" And all it is like it's like a little like how do I say this? It's like a little pedal for her. I mean, for him, she threw some, and it says like, "This is kind of like a tracker, if you don't mind. It's just I like to keep up with family, seeing as you're an Earth realm, and I can't really keep up with you, and I want to make sure that you don't go through on a killing spree like your father used to do." He was like, I'm like, I mean, he says I'm his son, as much as like I will probably end up doing that sooner or later because people piss me off easily. I probably won't end up doing it to the class because I'm trying to be a hero, or at least attempt to be. And she says, good, and I'll catch you in a bit. As in, I will, like, legit come and see you. And I'm gonna say, as soon as he gets home, like, he late miss home, and I'm gonna say he chills for about an hour or two, and then he hears a knock on the door. I mean, his father hears a knock on the door. He was like, okay, like, how the fuck did someone get into the forest? And he's like, Jason, you have any girls over? He's like, no, I can't bring them here because you'll either kill them or mom will kill them for you. And he opens the door. He sees this little he sees Lao. And his first instinct was almost to kill, and then he stopped. He always has the knife on, the machete on him. He almost swiped down at Kai, and then he says, no, no. Like, not right now. It's not the 13th. It's nowhere near close. And puts the machete away. And basically says, like, why are you at my fucking house in the woods knowing I'm Jason Voorhees? And I can basically break your fucking neck with the fastest you can say break. And she says, oh, like, hello, is Melina here? And he basically said, I don't know. And he almost says, like, the female dog. And he was like, and he says, he was like, Melina. And, like, and basically says, I know what you're about to say. He was like, well, we can't kill each other anyway, so someone's calling for you at the door. He was like, and she says, well, who the fuck is it? He's like, I don't know, this little kid. I mean, this like 14-year-old, and Million says, oh, so you finally learned not to kill? He was like, no, I'm a step away. If it wasn't for the fact that it isn't the 13th yet, she would have been in half. So she comes downstairs and recognizes like a familiar face, because Lao took after her mother in a lot of aspects. She was like, Katana? And Lao said, no, I'm her daughter. And Milia's like, oh shit. Oh shit. And she says, well, I'm banished from Outworld. Welcome and all, but me and your sister don't kind of get along right now. And she says, oh, I know. I just wanted to see like what the family was like on this side. And she says, well, you met Jason Voorhees, aka the mass murderer, aka Hell Can't Hold Me, aka I am the Jim, and my son is even bigger Jim. And yeah, Jason goes to the living room and just starts watching like the Friday the 13th movies, because people did make movies about him. And it's not even, and he said, and he's just every day he critiques them, like, see, that's not how shit would have been done. If I was there, I would have done this and that and that. And I'm gonna say, like, and when she asked for like, oh, I'm here for like looking for like your son, she says, oh, he's upstairs in his room. And he's playing Friday the 13th, the game. He was like, see, if I was there, I mean, if me and Dad was there, we would have been slaughtered and shit. Like, none of you guys would have had the chance. And who the fuck has the car battery? And you can hear, like, you can hear him from downstairs. And his father goes up there and says, like, I know, right? Like, I'll play this game too. And shit would not go down like this. Like, no one would even have the chance. And that Jarvis motherfucker wasn't even that strong. He got one lucky shot off and got me. Then I came back and killed him. Arizona lemon and fucking iced tea. Oh, my throat's getting dry. Pause. Anyway, so that happens. So now Lao comes up to the room and basically says, like, walks in and says, all right, Jason, all right, Deku, I'm here. And basically he says, like, you weren't in, he basically says, oh, I'm so glad you aren't a random teenager. My dad probably would have actually killed you at the door. He was like, he was close, but he realized it wasn't the 13th. He was like, I'm glad. I would have realized it. I kind of realized it wasn't the 13th yet either. Because they have the same tendency on the 13th. Like, they get a massive strength boost. So whenever it's Friday the 13th, they get a massive fucking strength boost. So I'll let you guys know when it's the 13th, and that's when he'll get, like, an insane-ass strength boost. But, yeah, I'm gonna say, like, Lao come over, they play a couple games, including Mortal Kombat X, where it included Jason Voorhees, and basically, like, the funny shit happens is that's Deku's main is his father, and his father walks up and says, like, hey, what's going on? He was like, the fuck? Why am I in a game? And why the fuck are you so good with him? He was like, oh, you're my main in this game. He was like, I mean, why the fuck am I in a fighting game? He was like, I don't know. Asked loud. He's like, well, because someone found out in this realm about Mortal Kombat, or Johnny Cage spilt the beans. He was like, Johnny, and he said, Johnny who? She was like, oh yeah, you really don't remember Mortal Kombat. He was like, yeah. I came in to kill one person, and with that, I was gonna stay forever. And that person died, so it don't even fucking matter. But him and, like, it's for funny shit, because him and Scorpion are on good terms, too. But I'm not going to end it here, because I don't want to. I'm going to continue until, like, the training arc. Because, you know, this is, like, the longest time I've had to just do one fucking video. So I'm going to keep the ball rolling into the training arc. So, I'm going to say after this, like, Kai leads back towards, you know, like, what the fuck, Outworld. Basically, Melina basically says, like, well, tell your mom I said hi, and I have a son now. And she says, oh, she knows. And she's kind of nervous about it, but don't tell her that. I mean, but I didn't tell you that. And then she, like, goes to the portal and goes back to, like, Outer World. I mean, I said Outer World. Fuck, what is his name? The Other Realm, I'm gonna just say that. And upon that, she's met by Liu Kang, and he says, like, you went to Earthrealm, didn't you? She basically says, yep, to see your cousin. Yep. And you basically met Jason Voorhees, his son, your cousin, and Melina. She says, pretty much. And she says, your mom's gonna probably kill you. And she says, I can always escape back to Earthrealm and live with Jason and them. He basically, Liu Kang says, I don't know about that, but sure. And basically, she was just there to see how things were going. And when she reports back to Katana, she says, like, yeah, like, Melina met Jason Voorhees, had a kid, and they aren't planning to come to this realm, so don't worry about it. And Melina says, like, thank you. I did not want to deal with Jason Voorhees and or his monstrous son. But how do you like that? He's like, well, Melina basically is like Melina, like, is a mother now, so she's not really, like, going in how she used to be. But she's still plenty strong. Jason isn't trying to kill as much, though he almost killed me at the door because I knocked and didn't say anything or announce my presence. And his son basically is not the same, just more peaceful. So with that, because, like, nothing really notable happens, because I am pacing these a little slower, I'm gonna skip to the training arc. Because, like, there's no point in keeping it. Like, there's no point in, like, saying, like, they go to school and train. Because, like, Loud trains in martial arts. Jason, like, all he does is, like, spar with his father. And Melina, like, teaches him how to, like, you know, use martial arts. And Jason's not that athletic, so, like, the most he can, like, so she really stops teaching him after a while. But she's trying to have another daughter with Jason. He's trying to have another kid with Jason. So I'm going to say that will happen sooner or later. And it will be a girl, so don't even ask. Actually, yeah, she's pronounced that she basically announced that she would be having another kid at a dinner table and had the thing proven to Jason. He was like, what the shit? So one overpowered kid wasn't enough for you. And he says, hey, I'm sitting right here. And he was like, I know, you're my overpowered son. Me and you beef almost every day. And half the time, me and you come back from hell, constantly. To a point where it's actually cold here. And then she says, I'm sorry, what? You kill each other? And she said, and basically said, like, yeah. Like, we can just die and come back. We're pretty much immortal at this point. And she basically looks like, so, for these years, you fought and killed each other on countless occasions, she says, and they say, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And she says, there's a lot of things wrong with that. This family's fucking crazy. you better not kill our fucking daughter. She says, well, she's gonna be immortal too, so it really won't do shit. And just like that, Melina throws a sigh in his head, heart, and all his organs. Jason, like, gets up, pulls him out, and says, that didn't hurt, and I know what you meant by it. Like, you can't get rid of me that easily. And he says, like, and we're in this for a long haul, so you just, like, you wanted a daughter, so you're gonna get a daughter. And, yeah, after that, like, the house gets renovated again to have a second room, and Jason basically says, like, I'm tired of renovating this house. Like, at first it was a small shack, now it's just like a fucking house, and I'm tired of having to go out into the wood, like, go out into freaking areas that I'm not supposed to be, and it's not the 13th. To kill, get the materials to come back, build shit, and to bury the body. And to hang up the bodies. And she says, you have a really big problem with hanging bodies. And he says, well, you have to mark your territory somehow and let people know and let your nuts hang somehow. And she basically says, what? And he was like, yeah, like legit, people know not to fuck with me, and that's why. They don't want their bodies hanging from a tree. Basically saying Jason was here, leaving a knife there. And he says, so why do you think this forest like doesn't have anyone in it? Why it's so lush with land and shit? Because no one fucks with it besides me. And the only thing I do is farm animals. Ugh. The funny shit is, as soon as he says it, he says, and I bet that sheep is on the roof again. And all you heard was, meh. And he says, and this is why I hate sheep. He says, and this is why I hate sheep. And he basically, like, cuts the wool off it and says, okay. So basically, that's how they make money, pretty much, is, like, Jason, like, gives, like, food and shit to his son. His son, Lake Mist, into town, sells it, comes back. And that's their money. Oh yeah, they have free Wi-Fi and TV the entire time because, no, they're too scared to go into the forest. No, they're too scared to cut it off because it's Jason. B, they're scared because he has a son now, and C, they gave him the best internet and TV possible, like gave him pay-per-view and all that, because they're too scared to not say anything to him about paying. So these guys have nothing to worry about when it comes to like TV and stuff. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna have to end up stopping it before the training shit. Because as much as I want to go into the training, it's just this story. I'm trying to like share it instantly there, like from this app. Because I'm not trying to like go into a different app, upload it there, like put it there, then to share it. When I can probably just like put it here and share it. Plus the training one is like, it's gonna be funny. Plus I want to like actually take the time up for it. But yeah, I'm gonna hate to say it, I'm gonna end it here. I actually love this and I want to continue it, but at the same time it's like I gotta pace it the right way. Otherwise I'll go way too fast like I usually do, and I'll feel unsatisfied. Like I want to come back to this story. It wasn't for the fact that I want to like let the story sit and simmer. Like I would blast like the Predator story and the Ermac story constantly every day. And the older ones, yes, I like it, but at the same time, it was like the Star Wars one I was gonna do. Like I can't do it because like I don't want to take care of two like characters at the same time. Like I'm barely keeping it to like Lao is cool because she is like her own character and she's just there to be there to watch over Jason. And that's all she's there to do. And before anyone says it, yes, I have a ship for Jason. And the only reason why it's not ships because everyone in the class 1-8 is scared to death of him. And I won't let you know who the ship is, but should I go into the? Fuck it, I got time. Why not? So I'm not gonna end it here. I'm just gonna like do the ship right now, so it can actually like make sense. Damn, at 50 minutes too. How am I gonna do this? Alright, that's how I'm gonna do it. So, I wanna say it's Friday the 12th. Yeah, it's not Friday the 13th, you fucking. You fuckers. I'm avoiding that shit. And I'm gonna say Jason's like running errands, because, you know, he still has to run errands. He still has to get food and shit. And he come across this small vampire blonde chick. As we all know her. Hopefully, if you don't, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're here and you don't know who this character is. And I'm gonna say she comes around the corner and sees Jason. And mind you, he has his back turned to her because he never has to have his guard up because he can get shot, stabbed, burned, and he still sit there and keep walking, and be like, nothing new. So I'm gonna say, like, because like he isn't paying attention to this said woman, and she's trying to grab it, she basically throws the knife at him and get him and puts it in his back, and he keeps walking, but he is bleeding. So I'm gonna say this woman runs up and gets a little taste of his blood, and basically turns into him. But because of how heavy he is, she instantly collapses to the ground and like can't move. And Jason basically pulls the knife out of his back and says, "And that's why you don't turn into me. I knew you were there the entire time." And then he shows her his like eyes and shit, and she like, because of how she is, and the fact that she like, the thing is with this Jason, he can form illusions too. Like if you stare into his eyes, he's kind of like, it's like a weaker, like, think of it like genjutsu. It just makes it seem like his appearance has changed. So she sees illusion, like, fuck, how is it? What the I forget what it's called, but you know, like in the like a image of like Jason with like the blood and stuff coming off his mask and shit, off of his face, and she instantly like falls for him because of that. And mind you, yes, that's how she fell for Izuku in the main story, because he was fucked up and he was taking it. She thinks that she fucked him up severely because of the illusion, and he's taking it and still standing over her. But there's nothing like that. And he says, and basically, like with that illusion going, because like he knows he has it on. He says, "Undo your quirk now," and she does it, and she has like, you know, that weird expression on her face, and he basically says, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And basically like gets up and just grabs her by her shirt and says, "You need to go to a hospital. There's like something mentally wrong with you." And mind you, she carries multiple knives, so if she stabs him in the arm, those knives at him and everything, all he does is like has them in him, and he just like with his left arm and just starts pulling them out and says, "Look." And she says, "All right." He says, "All right, Mr. Stabby Crab. Enough with the knives. I know they're cool. I mean, look at mine." And he pulls out like a Bowie knife and says, "I know they're cool, but I'm like, stabbing never hurts me. All you get is blood. And even then, I wouldn't recommend you transform again. They're kind of exhausted. I'm surprised you're able to stick knives in me." And she's like getting, her engines are revving because yeah, I had to change that. I'm not saying that out loud. Her engines are basically revving at the fact that he's taking it like a champ. That's kind of gay. He's taking it and he's just like not feeling a thing by it, and because she's basically a heavy masochist. Like, this isn't like beyond levels of masochist, and she's just sitting there like, damn, like this guy like is taking knives and everything, and he just isn't phased by it. And he basically says like, "Look, where's your family?" And she says, "Don't have one." And she says, "No, I make a fuck, what is it called? An exception for you." And basically goes to hug his arm, and he says, "What the fuck are you doing?" And basically drops her, and basically says like, "Look, like I know it's cool and all, like I'm big, burly, 6'2", 6'3", and strong, and being able to take knives and shit." And then he basically says like, "I've been stabbed, burned, shot, broken all my bones, like been to hell and back countless times, suffered from a lot of things, and I'm still alive. So trust me, there's a lot more things you can do, but at the same time, like you need to do something with yourself." And basically she basically says yes, and then she like jumps on his back and says like, "This is something I'm gonna do with myself and just stay and she says, "I'm gonna stay with you." And he says like, "No, like absolutely not." And like, and he tries, and he like every time he goes to take her off, she's like a little squirrel and just jumps on him again, to the point where he like jumps onto her instantly lake miss, and she follows him to, and she grabs onto him luckily, and now is in his room. And I'm gonna end it there. No, I'm not actually. I'm sorry. I'm not about to cliffhang this shit, because as much as I like want to cliffhang it, it's not worth it. And because Jason has a sense, he basically walks up and like knocks on the door and says like, "Hey, like, why did someone follow you home in your lake mist?" And he says, "Well, I can't shake her off my tail. I've tried. Like, I tried. Like, I basically grabbed her and like put her down, and she just run and jump on my back." And he says, "What is she, 12?" And he says, "No, she's like my age. It's just I don't know what's wrong with her. She just loves. She's deep in love and fascinated with me right now. I don't know why. I showed her the illusion quirk. I mean the illusion that I talked to you about, like the same thing you would do to terrorize people." And she just instantly fell for. Was in it, and she just like fell deeper into that hole of liking me. And he basically says like, "Well, that you got yourself in a situation there, and I can't solve it. So I'm gonna leave you to it. And I'm gonna keep Melina busy." He was like, "Dad, what the fuck?" And basically he walks away. And like, as much as he doesn't like it, the night of the midnight of the tango, and basically like all Jason did was like soundproof his room. Like he soundproofed every room just in case, because I'm gonna say Melina loves to go off, and them two like she basically like tries to beats the shit out of Jason, but he doesn't feel anything by it. So she's just like, them two are like their thing is like love and respect each other. Like Jason doesn't show it. I mean, they don't show it that they love each other, but they kind of do. But there's just to the point where it's like a family thing, where they can like rib on it. They're like brother and sister kind of, but they're still husband and wife pretty much, because her name is now Melina Voorhees, even though it wasn't fully like he couldn't sign the marriage. As much as I hoped it wouldn't do that, but yeah, my storage ran low, and and it stopped my recording. So yeah, like I'm gonna have to do the editing shit. But yeah, it's love and respect, and I'm gonna have to end it here, because I don't want my phone to do that shit again and cut me out mid thing. But I'm gonna end it off with Night of the Midnight Tango with him and Toga, because I'm pretty sure if you had brain cells, it's easy to know that. And basically Toga basically like I was gonna do is Toga turns towards like following Deku everywhere, so she eventually gets in the UA, because no one wants to question Jason Voorhees, like in why like he isn't gonna let Toga stay in his house all the time. So, yeah, that's the end. And I love this story, honestly. Like, this story could be my child, and I wouldn't care. But, and all that, this is Alligator signing off from the Cove. Peace, love, and prosperity to everyone. It is 5:14 in the morning. What the fuck? I can see the sun coming up. And, yeah, like, I hope you enjoy the story when it comes out.